Easy person.
Hi, welcome Passion for Life with Dee and Friends, and I'm Dee, and I'm here with my girlfriend and my friend and my partner, and we made it. I'm sorry for being a little late today, but we had some things that we couldn't even, well, we couldn't help, but we made it. I wasn't sure. I was like, we might have to do a repeat or what have you, but all my friends, Tommy and Janine, they were like, nah, come on, do it, and we're just gonna do what we need to do. So we're doing it, and hey, Theta.
Hey there, how are you
Welcome.
doing?
Very good, very good.
Good.
We're sharing our passion for life again, and it's phenomenal, and educating people for what we do is share and educate people for, what's going on in their lives, so make our lives and their lives better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
it's possible, and if they want it, then, hey, why not?
exactly. So utilize it, and we're doing good. We missed last week, huh? So there was a holiday.
What happened last week?
We had the holidays.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Everybody was,
Mm-hmm.
praising and memorializing, and it was good week.
Right.
But I did miss coming out here and sharing our words of wisdom, hopefully that people are learning and
Of course.
incorporating
Of course.
some of our little tips and knowledge.
Mhm.
And I see Tommy's looking a little strange. Everything's good? Okay. I just, we are doing live, so sometimes you kind of interpret a few things, it's like, okay, everything's good. So, anyway, I'm just so glad that we work with such phenomenal people, that are going to push you on, and no matter what, and make things happen, and,
Mhm.
it's like, hey,
Exactly.
you phenomenal, it's like, you are my raw dog.
Thank
and
you.
make
So are
things,
you,
yeah,
Dee.
yeah. I'm
So are
like,
you.
I don't know what to do without you, because if you
Oh,
weren't here,
stop.
it just
Sure.
wouldn't happen, because I'm
Yes,
not doing it by
sure.
myself,
You are strong enough too to do it. Yes,
yeah,
you are.
maybe,
You
maybe,
just-
but I don't want to.
Okay.
I'd rather you
I
be here.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I
So
appreciate that.
we've been talking a lot about, last month we talked about heart disease and cardiovascular and all those things. Actually, there was a young lady that I was hoping to come on today, and we were going to talk about stroke. But
Okay.
since she wasn't able to make it, we're going to have to save that for another time.
Okay.
So I figure maybe we will go into again, because, heart disease is really very big, but we're not going to really, focus on heart disease per se, but all the things that cause heart disease, because that, the things that cause heart disease, sugar. Okay, sugar also causes so many other things, inflammation in your body, so it causes all kinds of other diseases and what have you, and we can just elaborate on that.
Obesity.
Obesity.
It makes your heart work so much harder than it has
Exactly,
to.
exactly. The obesity, the heart, your kidneys, with diabetes, you name it. And actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have somebody in from kidney. One of my cousins has been on dialysis for a couple of years now.
Wow.
Her and her son actually just lost her son, who was only 37 years old,
Wow.
to
Was
he had
diabetic?
he was a kid. I don't know whether he had diabetes. I just know that he was on dialysis, as well as his mom, and he ended up waking up, not waking up, let's put it that way. And he ended up having an aneurysm. And you see a young man in his late 30s
Mhm.
dying because he was obese. He had some challenges.
Wow.
So it's so disheartening, you know, that all this is happening nowadays because people are thinking they're doing the right thing, you know?
Right, right. That's just so sad
Yeah.
because you go into a store, I know myself, and it says healthy.
Mhm.
Something's healthy. So, oh, why shouldn't I eat this?
Right.
But then after you get educated and you learn that the ingredients on the label are disguised
Mhm.
and it's really something that's not healthy and you think you're doing something great for your body and you're really destroying yourself.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Well, okay, we learned recently.
Mhm.
Okay, since what? Well, since January.
January. Mm-hmm.
I knew certain things, but did I incorporate it? No. Okay. Did I incorporate it in my life? No, I could not incorporate it at that point. Even though people were telling me that this is not good for you,
Mhm.
it was hard for me to kind of like implement these healthy changes.
Right.
So ultimately, what I did was, okay, I needed to pay for it. Thank goodness you showed me somebody that was able to share. And we're going to have him on actually next week. So
Cool.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about his program.
Mhm.
But basically, it's about taking out those processed foods and
Exactly.
eating healthy.
Mhm.
And so the thing is, it's really still so concerning because you think you're eating healthy when you're eating fresh fruits. You think you're eating healthy when you're eating, you know, certain meats and fish, okay, even in the wild. And
Right.
I just,
Even though wild is better for you, it's just that you think of a lot of these toxic dumpings. You think of these oil spills. Because I remember one time my cousin went fishing in the wilds,
right,
and when he brought the fish back, the fish literally to me smelled like toxic dump.
Oh,
The actual fish, that's what the fish smelled like, and I didn't even cook it yet. So I said, I don't know what this fish has been eating, but it's it's definitely wasn't healthy.
and that's scary because actually I was reading an article just recently, and they were saying that, well, of course, we all know that the farming of the fish, of the shrimp, all the seafoods and what have you, is kind of scary because
Yeah.
it's controlled. It's like farming of the foods that have the GMOs and have the chemicals and all those other things that are being, well, the animals that they put together, you know, with the chickens and everything that's just like mass produced. Even the cows, because they're doing the hormones and they're giving them certain things because they have to like herd them
Appetite
together.
stimulants and whatnot to
so
make
they
them
can make them
bigger.
bigger and stronger or what have you, but not really because
Yeah.
they're killing them, you know,
Right,
slowly.
that's why I have to give them antibiotics.
Right. Well, they're
Keep them
doing the
trying-
same thing with the fish, okay?
Yeah.
But then a lot of them, the farms are like, well, they have the big pools, and of course, when you have all these fish in
All
one
together, they're eating, they're each other's.
well, not even that,
Yeah,
you know. But
that's
but
just
if
one part of it.
One fish gets sick,
Yeah, they all
then
get
everything
sick.
gets sick. So
Yeah.
you have to make sure that they're kind of
Healthy.
helping them along so they don't get the whole.
So you put antibiotics and whatnot.
Exactly.
And what you're
Exactly.
feeding them is not very good.
No.
Because even way back in the day, when I looked at farm-raised salmon, the way it looked, and wild, and I was like, why is one so much redder than the other one?
Yeah.
I said, that's because you have to make it look good, so you can buy it.
And that's the
So-
same
so
thing with the
you've
beef.
done it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same thing with the beef. And what's scary about that whole thing is, okay, so you're adding these additives. These are actually chemicals that are going to be very, very harmful to your to your health, you know. So it's so not good, you know. Really, 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 very scary that your body is really now subjecting yourself to these chemicals that are toxic, truly very, very toxic to your body.
Right.
And so these toxicities are actually causing
Problems.
disease
Right.
into your body.
Right.
You
So
know?
what is this you're putting in me? I don't recognize it.
It's scary.
So
it's
it causes
scary.
all these side effects.
And with the fish, getting back with the fish, okay, they have the pools where they herd them and they bring them together and they feed them. But then they also herd them or actually have pools in the oceans. Okay? And then what they do, the same thing, but what happens is the water is now escaping into the wild and affecting the wild fish. So, oh my gosh. So even though they're in the ocean, and I actually went to get fish Thanksgiving, and the fish market was like, oh well, this is farm raised, but in the wild, and this is farm raised, not in the wild, and then there's the wild. Okay, so I was like, wow. So what's it? He gave me the education, and I was like, okay, well that's pretty interesting. But I still opted to go for the wild.
Of course.
But it still didn't taste like when I went to, this was like a place that is a little more mass. It wasn't a fish market per se.
Okay.
Like when I go to my fish markets,
Right.
you find you really wild.
Fish,
I love
exactly.
wild salmons. Wild salmon, you can tell the difference, you can smell the difference, you can taste the difference.
Right.
This wild salmon, even though it was like
It had
overly
a
priced,
funny smell.
it just didn't taste as the wild salmon that I've had previously. It didn't
Okay.
taste. It was good, but wasn't as good as the ones that I used to get. Back
Right.
in the day.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the oceans are becoming more and more and more polluted.
Yeah.
And the earth has a way of regenerating itself,
Mm-hmm.
but because they're constantly polluting it without it being, being able to generate itself, it's going to be more and more polluted. And
Yeah.
so once that happens, our wildlife gets tainted, and our animals that do eat wildlife, they become tainted, and we become tainted,
Yeah.
no matter what we try to do.
yeah.
So that's why we have to, constantly detox and not try to put so much garbage in our bodies.
This is so true. And what's so scary is, so where are we going to get our food from if everything is contaminated with the chemicals, the pesticides, and all the non things that are bad, all the negative things that are bad for our body? Where are we going to get our food? So
It's a challenge.
It really is a
It's a very
challenge.
deep challenge. That's why we have to do more and more on a more daily basis, or maybe every 6 months or every year, a toxic flush or toxic cleanse. And even now, I find that I used to go to an iridologist, and so she even sat down with me and explained what they were doing with the food, and even some of the herbs, what people were doing with the herbs. And so it's like you have to be careful of taking in some types of herbs,
right.
and where it came from, and how it was farmed, and how it was raised. It's bad. Mankind is ruining mankind.
Yeah.
We're ruining everything. We're ruining the earth. And the earth is angry, so I want to get everybody off of it.
And that's what's so sad about it too, because as I said, we're trying to do the right thing. Some of us are really attempting to buy more natural foods, more organic foods, more wild foods, and then you read something that says, well, even though you may be buying wild, you go and you test these wild animals, these wild fish and wild sea creatures and what have you, and they have the same toxic buildup that the other fish have, because guess what? The people don't care,
Cross-contamination.
and it's fracking, and then you said that, well, the big companies, that they have all this waste going out into the oceans and what have you, they don't care about that, all these toxic things that are going out. We always were concerned about mercury and what have you. Well, there's so many other things now, so many other things that, they just pollute everything. And, you look at Europe, you look at the other countries, and they're really trying to be very conscientious and taking care of their environment so much better than the United States. And I don't understand why we don't. We're supposed to be, yeah, it's the money. Yeah, I understand that. I do understand, but I just don't understand that, people are living here. So what are they eating? What are they eating? If they know what's going on, do they have a special place where they get
They're
their
probably
foods
eating
from?
the same thing. Because sometimes I step back and I wonder, I said, how come there's such a spike in certain types of diseases? It's mean your body is no longer at ease.
Mm-hmm.
Such a spike of asthma. You see so many people with asthma. Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Sometimes we never even really heard of Alzheimer's
Right.
at a certain time. Now you see some people with Alzheimer's because of certain types of foods and cans and metals. It goes to your brain. Your brain can't handle it. You have Alzheimer's, and also
Well, the aluminum and what have you?
fibromyalgia. Whoever
yeah.
heard of that?
Yeah.
It's just now they have commercials about
yeah,
this.
Yeah. Well, it's the drugs,
Yeah.
So that now they have everything that they have actually brought to you so that they can treat, they can treat the symptoms to suppress what's going on with your body. Because they're not treating the symptoms to make it better. No, it's not that. It's just about treating the symptoms so that you don't have a violent reaction, or you can function.
Right.
Okay, you can survive, because that's all you're doing is kind of surviving, and it's kind of scary because survival. I want a better quality of life, and that's why we both decided to do what the journey we're doing. But in terms of what's going on, it's I was reading something about the water, and actually I went to what is it called? A seminar on Kangen water, which I had really no idea, and I still don't have all the details about it. But I think I had mentioned it before that basically people are drinking like very high pH, and they don't realize what it's doing to the rest of their bodies, because certain areas in your body need certain things. You have to have certain acidities, because your stomach doesn't function properly. Your gut flora doesn't function properly if you don't have an acid base, acid level in your body. It doesn't digest. And so you're putting something that's very, very alkaline, and then your blood is supposed to be at a neutral level, and certain things are supposed to be just at certain levels, and
and then you're throwing it off.
You're throwing it off big time. And this gentleman that I met, and he's so sweet, and I really liked him a lot, and he was trying to actually bring down his blood pressure. He told me that his pressure was probably 200 over, I don't know, okay?
Wow.
Which sounded very scary to me, okay? That's stroke potential.
Yeah, you probably have a problem.
And he said that he's had blood pressure issues since he's in his 30s.
And how old is he now?
80. 80.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And last time I saw him, he looked really, really, really off. He just didn't look healthy. And he did find out that he said that there was some yeast in his blood. But I'm thinking, and actually I conferred with a friend of mine, and he actually said that probably because of all the alkaline water
that he's been drinking,
it's caused the balance of his body to change, and that's what the yeast, because you have yeast, you have a lot of bacteria and yeast and different things in your body.
You have to have it.
You have to have.
Yeah.
But it's at a symbiotic relationship, and it doesn't, one thing will not override the other unless you put the wrong things in your body, and those things those will become toxic. Like you have H. pylori, which is Helicobacter pylori, which that's that campy it causes a lot of issues with your digestion and what have you. A lot of people
Okay.
don't even know they're carriers. Even Clostridium difficile, and all these are toxins that cause your body to really not react and do right. You know, in digestion, you get the acid reflux. You get a lot of different symptoms going on with your body.
Right.
Well, certain bacteria will flourish, or certain yeasts will come up when your body's not leveled properly. You know, so if you're not putting the right things in, then things start
To grow.
kind of go off balance. And so this gentleman had yeast in his blood. That's scary also. So he's saying he's feeling better. He's going to start using this what is it? Mercury, some kind of colloid, you know, aloe colloid, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, you know, hopefully you will do better. But I really want him to talk to somebody that has some kind of knowledge. You know. So I actually was going to reach out to Body Mechanic at one point and ask him to talk to this
explain.
gentleman. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he wasn't listening to me. You know, sometimes people just don't want to hear
Right.
it from the people that they know,
know.
even though he doesn't really know me. But maybe because I'm a woman and he's an older man, I don't know, maybe. But
Wow.
it scared me because
Yeah.
really he was really so passionate,
Yeah.
yes, over his beverages. I mean his
His
water.
water.
And I am sitting back saying, oh, and he was a scientist back in the day. So I'm like, but if you know that certain things are supposed to be in a certain level.
So he co-signed with you, but still, I mean, did he co-sign with what you're saying, or did he negate what you're saying?
Well,
did he refute?
he kind of, well, basically told me that he's been drinking this water for many years, and it's got him to this level. So I was like, okay. So already then. So what do you say? But the
Wow.
thing is, I'm like, but you are really, something's going on with your body right now. So
Right.
even though you have come to 80 years old, but your quality of life is not
Not
as good as it should be right now. But what do you say to a person that's believes in what they're doing? You have to let them deal with it, and hopefully, I gave him some things that I came across, and hopefully he'll look and really take a understanding of what he's actually doing. Because actually, one of the articles that someone brought to my attention, they indicated that they used to be a big co-signer of this Kagan water. They actually wrote about it, saying that yes, it was good, and now they regret a couple years later that it was after investigating the whole aspect of this water, it really wasn't as they felt.
So my question is, he had a feeling so strong to put it in. So there was a reason why he had this feeling. So what was the feeling, and then what changed his mind?
Well, I believe he probably didn't research it as
On research.
much.
Oh, okay.
Because at that point, it was a big hype.
It was a quick to judgment.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he realized that, okay, because a lot of people do that with drugs, and
Right.
they do the research, they do the clinical trials and what have you, and they say yes, it's ready, and then put it out there,
And people die.
and then people die,
Yeah,
or
it's-
they didn't
something
really.
happens.
10 years later or 5 years later, they reevaluate and they're like, oh, wait a minute, maybe we were a little too hasty to put that on the market. Okay, so that's exactly what he said, because when he started looking at the whole thing, whole picture, and understanding where it was coming from, because it's actually chemicals that make it go to that level. It's not coming to a natural pH all by itself. It's putting with like some kind of electronics to break the water, and then
Okay.
you're putting some kind of chemical. So chemicals, we know, you know, with all the chemicals right now, oh my
Right.
gosh, you
Yeah.
know, what more chemicals
What
do
do we
you need to
need?
put in your body, you know?
Right, right.
I don't want to put any more chemicals in my body.
neither
you
do
know?
I.
It's like, if I could all but get chemicals out of my body, I would love it. You know, and I'm looking at different things because okay, we're still using our makeup, we're still using our perfumes, we're still using our soaps, you
It
know.
all has chemicals in it.
And you have to really concern yourself. The
Yeah.
shampoos and your deodorants, okay. And actually I came up across an article about, you know, 10 different ways to do naturals, you know, and ultimately I really would like to share it. I have it printed out, but I wasn't able to, like,
You can make your own deodorant.
yeah,
Because
no, exactly.
I have a recipe that I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, I saw there was a recipe for perfume. It was a recipe for there was 10 different things. Soap, for lotions, for the deodorant. I can't remember offhand, but there was very interesting and even like Febreze, you know, for
That's chemicals.
no,
There's a lot
no,
of chemicals in
no.
some of-
I'm saying there was a natural
Oh, a
one.
natural
Well,
one.
there was like this article that indicated 10 different things that you would not want to buy anymore. You just make it.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that I stopped buying
Mm-hmm.
is candles.
Oh, really?
I only buy certain types of candles because if you read, the wick
Mm-hmm.
is made with metal. And I was wondering how come whenever someone is burning a candle, I get an instant headache. And then someone was explaining, it says, because the wick has a metal in it to make it stand up so cute and straight.
Oh, really?
And so you're taking in metals.
Wow. You know what? We got a phone
We
call.
have a phone call?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Cool.
Hi, welcome to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends. This is Dee, who is on the phone.
Hi, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good, good. How can we help you?
Listen, I had a question for you. I heard that whole wheat bread is really not good for you.
Well, I'll tell you. That's a whole nother thing because you're talking about wheat as a whole, depending on where you're getting the wheat from. If it's processed with the GMOs and the chemicals, no, it isn't. It's a whole hype about gluten and wheat and all these things are carbs that really not necessarily are good for you anymore at this point. You want to chime in
And
about?
actually, it seems like it don't break up too well, too. Because I took it to feed the ducks with my nephews, and we were throwing it in the water, and it never, like, broke apart. I was like, oh, I'm not eating that no more.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of it is so chemically based.
Right, it's not digestible.
No.
Sometimes your body doesn't recognize it to be digestible.
Yeah.
So your body doesn't digest it properly.
Yeah,
You're
because
saying we should go all organic.
well, basically all organic. And the thing is, well, flour is really not good. Wheat flours and all that is because I don't know where they're getting the wheat at this point, you know, because
And the way it's grown.
and the way it's grown, and they're doing too many chemical things to put things together, you know. So we don't need rice, arsenic. You know, there was chicken. Something else was, chicken. I think they said arsenic. A lot of things have arsenic in it because what happens is they treat the crops with these
The
chemicals.
pesticides.
You ever hear of Roundup?
Right,
Oh,
Roundup.
that's a weed killer.
Well, it's a bug killer, which they use with a lot of the stuff they grow. And what happens is they use the GMOs to treat the plants and the growth of all our fruits and our vegetables and what have you, and they put it into the seeds so they will be able to resist all the
These
pesticides.
bugs.
You
Right.
know, so it's in the soil, it's in the plant itself. It's in everything. So yes, you would really need to probably go organic as far as.
So if I go to a restaurant and I have some string beans that ain't organic, and I say, wow, these are really killer string beans. Actually, they really are killer string beans.
Exactly.
And how often do you go to a restaurant? Do you go every day, or do you,
I
you
came from one just now to get home to see the show.
Oh, well, you know what the thing is? I'll tell you, I became
I
allergic.
had chicken, I had tuna, and I had rice. So I didn't have
chicken,
string beans.
tuna, and rice?
Was it organic restaurant?
Oh, it was, yeah.
Okay. Well, they have a lot of organic restaurants right now that you would have to look and see. They're really trying to get them out. There's a website called Clean Plates, and they kind of list all the organically friendly or naturally friendly restaurants that are out there, because people are getting aware and people are getting tired of not knowing what kind of foods are going into your body. So I'm eating more so home now, and I was a avid restaurant person. I liked going to the restaurant. Oh yes, because it was just me and my husband.
And convenient.
What? I beg your pardon?
I just like eating.
You love to eat. I hear you.
I called in just for you to tell my wife that ice cream is good for you, right?
Ice cream is good for you? I don't know. Well, you know
How
what?
is it made? What kind of cows did it come from?
And you know what? The sugar. Okay, the sugar factor is the real problem. Because
So sugar's no good either?
no, sugar is no good. Sugar is.
You're ruining my life right now.
I'm so sorry. Don't really mean to do that. But I'll tell you, sugar is so very bad for you. And we were going to have this whole big thing about sugar. And we will, ultimately, because we talk about sugar a lot. Because sugar is in the processed foods. Processed foods are bad too. Okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know. Guess what?
You're telling me no more Hostess cupcakes.
Well, you know what? Right now, I have really cut down the processed foods, actually to almost nothing, since January. And
My you look wonderful.
oh, thank you so much. I lost 44 pounds
Oh, my God.
since
Good.
January because of not eliminating processed foods. Because what happens is processed foods are so very bad, and it causes so many different things. I think I have another call, but I don't even know how to get the call in.
Okay, well, listen, I really thank you, and your show, and we watch you every week.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate
All
it.
right, bye-bye.
Okay, take care. Hi, welcome to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends. Who's on?
Hi, can I talk on the show?
Oh my goodness, who is on this call?
This is the body mechanic.
Oh my. How are you? This has been a long time since you have come on our show.
It's so funny. I was watching the show a few minutes ago. I was listening to, I guess you were talking about when you're eating out and having access to foods and knowing what if the foods have been treated with certain chemicals and things like that.
Exactly.
And I can tell you, like, when I work with most of my clients, if you really want to consider being healthy, you really have to prepare your own food. I know that's not always, it's not always that simple in the Western culture because everyone is so inundated, with business and family and stuff. But if you don't take the effort and do the preparation to prepare your food, you're destined to be sick.
No,
And
I agree with you. Right now, I was one of those people that love to go out to eat. And because of our new journey, I have been cooking at home now. And
Right.
and it is very different. I try to bring if I do cook and if I'm out, I make sure I have something with me so that I can make sure that I have that plan B, because I don't really trust what's out there, so I want to make sure I have something that I can eat. So
I think that ultimately what we have to realize is that we really have to be responsible for our own health. We can't expect these establishments to do that for us.
That's true.
They want to make money, and they're going to cut corners, and that's just what happens. And even in the high-end restaurants, the same thing happens. I'm always asked by my clients, is organic worth it? And let me tell you something. If you spray a few of those chemicals in your mouth, you'll get it right away. You'll understand that those chemicals are deadly for you.
Yeah.
If the
Wow.
insects won't eat the plant, you shouldn't be eating the plant either.
Exactly.
So that's really
Exactly.
what it boils down to.
No.
Wow.
What-
I love
what
it's
is it?
phrased like
Huh?
that. I love it the way you phrased it like that. The insect won't eat it, then you don't need to be
Yeah,
eating
well,
it either.
it's pretty clean cut. And another thing I wanted to comment on, the guy was saying something about sugar and is ice cream okay? The thing about the body is a very very efficient living entity. And what it is, it likes to take the path of least resistance. So, like, one of the things that I do when working with clients is to understand the difference between fat consumption and sugar consumption. Sugar is very easy for the body to process. And when you start eating sugar on a regular basis, the ability to burn stored fat starts to diminish slowly. As a matter of fact, one sugary meal can suppress your ability to release leptin, which is a fat-storing a hormone that's stored in your fat system, for almost 3 days.
Mm.
Wow.
So, that one, bout with ice cream can set you back a few days, especially if you're trying to maintain a healthy weight.
Yeah.
And it takes you almost 4 or 5 days of getting rid of the sugar for your body to start actually burning stored fat.
Well, they say that the sugar will actually cause the Alzheimer's and the challenges with the brain and
Diabetes.
and diabetes and heart disease and causes inflammation all over your body. So, that
Right.
sugar is very deadly to every process in your body.
Well, I'll give you an example about the denial by the Western medical community, and I hate to say this, but it's the truth. I just went with a client recently and sat down with a neurologist and asked him point blank. I said, does sugar consumption affect brain chemistry? And he said to me, there is nothing that states that. But yet he spent 15 minutes explaining this, how he lost all his weight by reducing sugar in his diet. So it's like saying that the head is separate from the body. Sugar's bad for the body, but not for the brain.
It's amazing, because these are people
denial.
that have had the knowledge and have gone to school, the book learning and what have you, and then they still have that denial factor of what is really happening with the body and the mind. It's all one, if you don't have your sympathetic nervous system or
Sympathetic
your
nervous
central
system,
nervous
right.
system, it's not going to, you don't have your brain, your heart's not going to know to beat. So you
Exactly.
cannot function without one or the other.
There we go. One supports the other. That is a fact.
Yeah.
But the point was, this is a guy who's one of the top neurologists in New York, and when I prepped the family to explain to them, this is what you're up against.
Yeah.
These people are paid a lot of money to do their thing, to sell their drugs, and I hate to say it like that, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
And, I asked them a straight question about nutrition, and they refuse to acknowledge it because the deal is there is no control. They can't make money off it, so it's not important. So it's up to us as the educated consumer to actually educate other people to share this knowledge so we can help people. Because if you really want to be healthy, trust me, you have to stay out of these stores that sell processed food. You have to stop eating at restaurants that sell processed food, and you have to become responsible for your health. Because ultimately, you're going to pay the price.
Right. Well,
No,
you're right. You're right, and that's why I'm really working. Theta's working to it, and obviously you're working towards that too, because it's extremely
excellent. I mean, this information is vital.
yeah.
You can't put a price tag on what you do.
Yeah.
Just a tidbit of information understanding nutrition can change one's life,
Right.
and it's up to us to help each other. At the end of the day, that's what's going to protect us.
No, definitely. And then you were looking at the whole other picture in terms of what you also put on your body, because on your body, that's a whole nother thing also.
Yeah.
So, you got to really concern yourself in terms of, because that affects everything also, because whatever you put on your skin
When you're
is,
talking about transdermal travel through the skin and into the bloodstream.
Exactly.
The way I explain it to most of my clients so they can get a feeling of what actually happens, I tell people to crush a garlic clove, put it on the floor, and stand on it. and in 5 minutes you'll taste the garlic in your mouth.
Mm.
It literally takes
Wow.
3 to 4 minutes for it to get into your bloodstream and circulate, and you can actually taste it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe that, you know, and I know that because it's people don't realize the association of your skin is one of your biggest, it's the biggest organ that you have.
Yeah.
So people don't understand that that is a living part of you, and if you don't have your skin, you're opening yourself to a whole lot of other diseases and everything else like that.
That's why I made my own hand cream, my own
Right. And what do people
cream
put
for
in
my
their
body.
skin?
It's
Lotion
crazy.
tainted with all kinds of chemicals in
Yeah.
it.
I don't even buy
put
it.
plastic clothing on their skin. Their body heats up. Those toxins go into the body.
Right.
They wear plastic socks. They wear plastic shoes. All these things affect the internal ecosystem of the body.
Yeah.
We call it convenience, but at the end of the day, we've got so far away from the basics, and we wonder why we're all sick, because our bodies are inundated with all these toxic chemicals
Chemicals.
Exactly.
every day, and we don't get a break. We even sleep in sheets that have polyester. They heat up the sheets. Those chemicals go into our bloodstream. We lie on pillows with synthetic cases. With plastic inside the pillowcase. We clean that all night long. You know, so it goes on and on. But once we become aware of these things, we slowly decrease the toxic load in our body, and our body will start to heal. It's really a simple equation.
Right.
Now,
I think we got another call.
yeah? Well, thank you so much for giving me the floor. And like I said, I watch your show religiously, and you are doing a great thing. And kudos to you, Dean.
Oh, thank you. I think we just lost the call, so. But, yeah, I really appreciate that you can call in and share your knowledge, too. I had wanted to ask you one question. Do you know about the parabens?
About
The parabens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They make me
parabens
sick.
they are preservatives, and they're in antiperspirants.
Shampoo.
Right.
The problem with parabens is that we are not supposed to ingest preservatives.
Right.
So what happens is when a person shaves their underarm, they expose their blood system to the outside world.
Right.
What we do is after you shave, you slab up with your underarm deodorant, and it ends up going right into your bloodstream. If you understand anything about breast tissue, what happens is when women wear brassieres, it actually causes the breast tissue to release prolactin. It tightens the breast tissue and decreases the amount of blood flow. So anything that ends up in the bloodstream ends up collecting in the breast tissue. And parabens mimic estrogen.
Okay, you know what? Can you hold on for a minute? We have to take a quick commercial break, but would you be able to hold on?
Sure.
Okay, thanks. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
Stop the truck! Stop the truck! Thank you.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, MC in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Shannon Gates is the #1 fence provider on Long Island, with the most inventory in stock, including vinyl, chain link, and aluminum. Gates offers a custom powder-coated system that prevents rust throughout the life of the fence. We carry fence tools to the trade. We even stock wood, rail, and glass hardware as well. Shannon Gates has our very own patented locking system. The next time you need fencing of any sort, both commercial and private, give Shannon Gates a call at 631-392-4330. You can also visit our website at shannongatesinc.com.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
You know you already want a Toyota, but when you want more from your Toyota store, you want Smithtown Toyota, where every Toyota comes with Smithtown Toyota's Toyota for Life program, giving you lifetime New York State inspections, lifetime 10% discounts on all parts and service, 2 years of complimentary oil changes, 2 years of scheduled maintenance, and more, all at no cost to you, plus low clear-out deals on every Toyota in stock. Get more from your Toyota store. Hurry to Smithtown Toyota.
Hi, welcome back to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends. And well, Body Mechanic had to leave, but we're still talking about all these different things. So you were saying that you actually were having challenges when you were using those parabens, right?
When I noticed that shampoos had parabens, there's a young lady from our company that used to come out and speak to us, and she talked about the Premarin, the parabens and certain things that were in, our foods and our, actually in the shampoos and the conditioners.
Right.
And I always had emotional attacks with my menopause.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took a note of anything that was from shampoos or lotions that had that in it. I just stopped using it. And it was my flashes, it went down.
Really?
But after doing Phil's program and flushing all the toxins out, it was alleviated, I'm gonna say 99.9%. So I'm gonna say that a lot of those parabens are an endocrine disruptor, which was really, really bothering me.
Right.
It really, really got me, because sometimes I would sit here, I got to get out of here, I got to go in the ladies' room or something just to calm down, because it was really, really, really bad. It's causing a lot of problems, a lot of problems.
Well, you know what the thing is, now you're talking, it's messing us women up, okay? It's probably messing up the men too, because you're talking, these are preservatives that are being put into our topical deodorants, onto our shampoos, onto the soaps, and actually even in the makeup and all that kind of stuff. And now apparently it's in the food too. Now a lot of the companies are trying to get it out of the makeup and out of the deodorant. And I'm not sure whether it's based with aluminum or whatever, because all this, certain things have this aluminum, and they have different things that are really, really bad for you. But you're talking putting in your food and you're eating it, you're putting on your skin, and all that is so deadly and so toxic. And it's not even the stuff itself, but it is the toxicity that causes the cells and breaks down your cells and causes your body to,
lose the war.
do the disease, you know, have the disease. So the thing is, why? Why can't they make things without these things? Well, yeah, okay, maybe the shelf life won't be as long. But the thing is, then, okay.
They do have natural makeup, so-called natural makeup, that says that it doesn't have certain things. It's made plant-based and or mineral-based. Actually, the lip gloss that I have on is, I think it's mineral-based.
Oh, really? Well, I'll tell you. Remember I was telling you about those 10 things that you need to, you know, stop buying and just make for yourself.
Right.
One of them was makeup, and they had a foundation. It was like a, what is it, translucent powder.
Okay.
And they had you use, I believe it was like organic cornstarch or
Okay.
and then cocoa to add the color,
color.
or you could use some other natural thing to make your color. And then there was something else, you know, because I was reading all this stuff. It was very interesting. I was like, oh, okay, cool, you know. Or you can, you know, and then other people were like, okay, you don't have to use that. You can use this, and people were just like chiming in and sharing what they have used to make the color, and you add the cocoa or whatever to have you know, to your color. And the thing is, well, translucent powder is just going to get that oil off or whatever. I don't use oil, a whole lot of it anyway, but it's just good to know. And then it's like the perfume, I was reading very quickly that you use alcohol, but it's like 100 proof vodka, okay? And then you add, you know, some other different
The vodka without the chemicals.
Well, I guess, you know, I'm not really sure,
Yeah.
but, you know, but perfume does have the alcohol in it, but I guess that's a more, because the well, I guess vodka is made from
Some sort of plant
some
or
kind of
something.
plant, and so that's more natural. And then you add your fragrances, you know, and I was like, that's interesting, because, you know, it's like the rose petals, and because I like the lavender or whatever, you know. So
the oils.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
so
like
you
some of the
put in
oils.
those oils, and then you have your fragrance. So I'm like, interesting. And then they also had one with deodorant. And actually, what I was doing at one point, I was using we
The
have the
coconut?
noni. I was using the body butter that we have for our business, and I was using the body butter, which only had the noni and the tiara flower, and it actually helped because I don't sweat that much,
Right.
so it wasn't like I needed it to, you know, like make me, you know, dry.
But I'm gonna tell you a secret. The more chemicals that are flushed out of your body, the less you smell.
Right, exactly.
If you have a
It's
lot
true.
of chemicals and a lot of craziness going on inside of you, you can just wash and then put something on, and then the next hour you're smoking because it's coming out of your skin. So if you have less chemicals in your body, a clean inside
That's
is
true.
going to foster a clean outside.
Exactly.
So when you sweat or whatever, it's not going to be like a zoo. You're not going to smell like a zoo.
No, and that's, well, the chemicals, what you eat. You are what you eat.
Exactly.
You smell what you eat. You know, it's like, in terms of going to the bathroom and excreting your feces and what have you, you won't have as much of
a smoky odor going
it's
on.
like, it will be a lot more pleasant. You
Less
know, people could
matches to
stay
be
in the
struck.
room or what have you.
True,
We have
true.
people in the room, you know. And they're getting into our conversation. Hey guys, but it's true, you know. It's like, this is life. Everybody does it, and we all need to know.
Exactly.
It's important.
Exactly.
You know? And you know, like my husband doesn't want me to be in the bathroom when, you know. It's like, but I don't have no problem. Come on in the bathroom, enjoy. Come on, you know, life's good. But the thing is, you're right, you know, because if you eat better, you will not smell as much. You know, the deodorants and all that kind of stuff. You don't need all those perfumes, you know, because your body's clean and your body's working more efficiently. And it smells sweet. Life is so good.
It's very true. It's
Yeah.
very, very true.
But I do like my perfumes now. I'm not going to say I don't like them. But I'm going to have to, because every time I put it on, I'm like, oh, what am I doing?
Right.
What am I doing to my body? Because that's a chemical, which I probably really don't need to put on my body. It's like certain things. I have opted for different deodorants, so without certain chemicals and what have you, without the aluminum. I had stopped using the antiperspirants a long time ago
Yeah,
because
it blocks your glands. It blocks your
you're
glands, it
supposed to
causes
sweat,
problems.
okay?
Yeah.
It's okay
It's
to
natural.
sweat. Exactly.
Natural.
People are like, oh no, you can't sweat. No, guess what? If you don't sweat, now you're going to keep all those toxins in your body that are supposed to be leaving. So that's not a good thing,
Right.
I was reading also another article, and it was about the bacteria and what have you, and that was with the fish and all that kind of stuff, and that was scary, because the antibiotics they're using in the processing, well, not just the fish, also the chickens and all that kind of
Cows
stuff, and all that is getting to us. All that is coming into our bodies. And then you're looking at the hormones, and then you're looking at the preservatives, and then you're looking at all the pesticides, and then you're looking at what else? The GMOs. Okay, so and we need to get labels. We need to insist that they label anything that has GMOs.
They've been insisting on that. They've been fighting for that. And some of them, I do see packages that says non-GMO.
Yeah,
On
but
it.
yeah, because there's non-GMO or
Right.
GMO. Well, yeah, because the non-GMOs
or GMO free.
Yeah, well, yeah, because of course,
And that's when I'll buy that.
Yeah, when they're gonna want to share that, of course, if they know that this is a better preferred item to use. Then
Matter of fact, if the package doesn't say GMO free, I said,
yeah,
it may have GMO.
No,
in
it definitely does. It has. You
Yeah,
don't even
so
have to deny it.
I fully away from that. I don't even want to put it because I don't want to up my ante as regards to my menopausal situation. Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to stress my body out and bring and say, come on? No, I don't need that.
Well,
I don't need that.
the parabens actually have been related to cancer. So they're saying that actually will also cause cancer. So I'm like, okay,
why do it?
But the thing is, people don't know.
Right.
So if you don't
Don't
know,
know.
then you just end up putting yourself in harm's way,
Exactly.
unfortunately. So we have to keep on educating people to share what we're learning, because it is a whole learning experience for you, me,
Right.
for everybody.
It's like we don't know. We're still learning.
And, it's so sad because I really was just like the masses, I had no clue that there was really any issues, I'm living, eating, drinking. Oh, that's another thing, soda. And we need to talk
I haven't
about
drank
that.
soda in years. When you drink soda, you stop your immune system for 7 hours. So why would you want to do that to yourself?
Well, besides the sugar, and then if you drinking the diet soda, forget it.
That's
Okay,
worse.
That's the worst. And people, say, "Oh, wow, the little pink and white packages or pink and blue packages and all the aspartame and all that kind of
Equal
stuff."
and all of that.
Equal. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. If it's not natural, I don't want it. It's at this point, I like my sugar. I like my ice cream. I
In
even
moderation.
felt, but you know what? It's not good for you.
No, it's
It's
not.
just not good for you.
No, it's not.
You got to go with the grass-fed. You got to go with the natural foods. You got to go with the organics. You have to stay away from the wheat. Stay away from the rice. Stay away from anything that might have any kind of pesticides. And like I have a couple of friends that are doing the program. Okay, and they're loving it. Kind of, sort of, not in kind of, sort of. Because what happened was a lot of them were starting with the program, and they had not been looking at taking out the processed foods in their body. So they've been eating processed foods for all these years.
Yes.
So when they did this, it was kind of drastic. and they had a real hard time because now their body is detoxing,
Right.
and it's actually going through withdrawals.
Right,
You know, it's
exactly.
going through withdrawals. So it was so hard. You know, they're like, I want some meat.
I'm gonna tell you a secret, right? When my whole family, when we went to the iridologist, and she explained what was going on with the meat, and she says, I suggest y'all stop eating meat. That day, we went cold turkey,
Yeah.
and we was some angry people, get away from us, until it all flushed out, and so we was cool after that. But I know we went through withdrawals, and we were some angry people.
Well, I'll tell you. We're going to talk about angry black people next week, and then we'll talk about some other folks too. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to end up ending this another week and sharing. We had some nice talking.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. You know, we had a couple of people calling in and what have you. And next week we're going to have some more very interesting conversation. And, well, I really appreciate everybody joining in. And hopefully you learned a whole lot, because we always have a lot of information for you. And we're going to be sharing so much more next week. And tune in and keep on enjoying. So thank you for tuning in to Passion for Life. Next week. Bye.